Our mission is straightforward but critical. Leverage the power of information to keep our nation safe.
In the shadowed corridors of history, there are secrets buried so deep that even time struggles to uncover them. Secrets about the mind and those who would dare to control it. From the Cold War paranoia to experiments shrouded in the guise of science, a covert operation known as MKUltra sought to push the limits of human consciousness, manipulating memory, perception, and even free will.
What you're saying is that you were a psychic spy.
A Jedi warrior.
But what happens when those who control the mind lose control themselves? This week on Stumbling Down History Road, we step into the dark and twisted world of mind control, where trust was betrayed, ethics were abandoned, and reality itself became a weapon. This is not just a story of government conspiracy or shadowy experiments. It is the story of a human soul caught in the grip of power, and the price we pay when those in control dare to play God. So buckle up, because history is far darker than we ever imagined. This is Stumbling Down History Road.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live!
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Doing it live. We're gonna fucking do it live?
Fucking do it live.
Want some headphones, buddy?
That would probably help.
Headphones and doing it live.
It's been a while. I haven't been here in a while.
Yeah, returning guest.
Am I supposed to have 2 wires?
Nope, just one. You're good. Tonight on Stumbling Down History Road, we're going to be talking about mind control, MKUltra, like weird fucking hypnosis, mind control, CIA, fucking bullshittery type shit, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, mind control and all the fun stuff that go along with mind control.
Cool, I'm Jackson. We got Jeff.
Hefe!
Nope, just Jeff.
I'm Fody.
I'm Garrett.
I'm D. I can go back
That's
to
tasty. This is a tasty.
It's good
All right,
hash.
so, yeah. Just like Weezer, we got our hash pipe, and we're going to get this bitch started. Which, I guess can lead me to my... I guess we can start with this, because MKUltra was centered around mind-altering drugs and their ability
that's
to...
one of the things.
I mean, for the most part, the gist of it was to create people to go against their moral code and kill without any memory, as well as erasing the memory of the enemies. It's a lot of memory erasing and controlling of minds.
Isn't that the plot of Manchurian Candidate?
What's up?
Yes.
Isn't that the plot of the Manchurian Candidate?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the book. The book is based off of this.
No.
The
Manchurian Candidate happened while MKUltra was still classified and everything. That book came out, I believe, during MK Artichoke still.
MK Artichoke?
So it's
MK Bluebell.
Artichoke, Bluebird, and
Bluebird,
Ultra.
yeah.
They're all tied together, and it's all a matter of like how deep in the sauce do they really go.
There was a Stella, too. One of them was Stella.
Stella is the first one, but it's like the least actually associated with LSD, drugs, torture, shocking.
Take some of the shatter and throw it in here.
People on
throw a little bit
people
more
on
on.
hepatitis getting fucking LSD, just putting, you know.
I mean, they were using anything from hippies on the street to Johns that were thinking they were going into brothels. They were using prisoners. They were using anybody they can really get their hands on.
Don't forget-
they were like luring homeless people into places.
Homeless
with,
people.
like fake prostitutes and stuff.
They would set up and they would say
Didn't
that
they
if
turn
you
a guy
have,
into a koala that one time?
they said,
Yes.
they said that if you have like a migraine, come and we'll help you take care of it, and then they wound up just giving them a bunch of fucking acid and.
Don't forget to cut you off real fast. Don't forget that one of the experiments that MKUltra did was put fucking radium in cereal and feed it to 3-year-olds.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
They took radium, like the Radium Girls radium. If don't look that up or don't look that up, Radium Girls.
No, radium, like the radioactive product that's all around us.
Yeah.
Not radium girls, but
Well, I'm talking like radium, like, yeah, no, because isn't Radium Girls the radium, like the Yeah, no, isn't that the same shit? It's radioactive, no?
Yes, it is radioactive.
Okay, so they gave radioactive materials to
To 3-year-olds, yes, in cereal because they wanted to test how it would affect kids and see if they would have an iron deficiency or calcium deficiency, things like that, as they were having their fortified breakfast cereal. That was an actual experiment.
Yeah, there were a lot of sub experiments being done. Some of them involving kids, for sure.
More than just some.
No, you look
I mean,
at the,
that wasn't their target audience. The main thing was more on the adult side. You know, it's not like they were just like out there, you know, kidnapping kids and experimenting on them.
I mean, it sounds like they were experimenting on kids, just not taking them off the street more.
Yeah, under some false pretenses to their parents, they did some fucked up shit. They also did everything that they did under false pretenses. The whole thing was all false pretense.
well, yeah, you could find the full church committee report on like archive.org. It's like 50,000 pages of what's not redacted out of it, and I
But-
mean nobody's going to be able to read all of that.
But didn't the Hirsch article in the Times or the Post or whatever, didn't that come out before the church experiment? Or that was, because didn't that lead to the church experiment?
That I can't tell you. The findings from the church committee are on the Internet Archive.
Are you
I don't
reading
have
from
the
a
link.
prompt right now?
What?
Are you reading from a prompt right now?
Who, me?
Not you.
What prompt?
You. You're just like,
Oh, I'm watching the game.
Yeah, that guy's yelling at you. He's like, "Stop saying the things you shouldn't say." This
So,
is
I mean-
MKUltra in your football.
I don't know. I'm just
But no,
saying
it's-
you look like you're reading from a prompt or something.
It's okay.
There's no way anybody is going to read the 50,000 pages of church committee stuff that talks about like MKUltra, Mockingbird, all this stuff, and it's all buried in there. And even if you did try and read it, how long is it going to take you? That's 50,000 pages.
Many, many long.
Oh, yeah.
Like I can read pretty quick. If you give me a 600-page book, I can read it in a couple of days if I have a lot of free time. But 50,000 pages is going to take me a long time. But you can't find what they actually found in relation to any of this that they made it illegal for the government to do. Like oh well, no, we're going to dissolve these agencies, but they didn't actually make it illegal for the government to do any of these things.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the CIA. It's the government. They're from the government, and they're there to help.
Well, I mean, the CIA is the international branch, right?
Yes. The FBI is the Federal Bureau of Investigation that investigate homelandish type stuff, and the Central Intelligence Agency goes overboard and goes, "Hey, yeah."
Well, that's
But
the
I mean,
thing
this
that
all kind of started with when they read about farmers in Russia. No, not farmers in Russia. When they read about prisoners of war returning from Russia and saying that they were bombing and doing drug carpet bomb type shit to people. And that never happened. They just kind of like tortured them and told them that that's what they were doing and made them say that that's what they were doing. Admit to it.
I think there was also a case where, I guess it was during the Korean War, they were able to brainwash or mind control a couple of U.S. soldiers into thinking that the Korean government was superb and that the government in the U.S. was bad. And they went on TV and they were saying that, like, we don't support the U.S. government and all this and all that stuff like that. So that was part of it too, because the government saw that and like, how the hell how are they making this happen?
So the Korean War was definitely post to like most of MKUltra.
Was it?
Yeah, most of what happened with MKUltra was mid 50s to like mid 60s. It technically continued for a while on, but like
Wait, what years were the Korean Wars?
later, isn't it?
I know Vietnam was the 60s through the 70s, right? I thought the Korean Wars was the 50s.
Was it? It might have been that.
I think that's accurate.
Anybody who knows when the Korean War was?
It was. It started because of the Korean War.
Oh,
Where's when I was reading about it?
Huh.
Cold War.
Cold War? Well, no.
I mean-
during the early periods of the Cold War, CIA
Duh.
became convinced.
Well, that pretty much started like right out the gate after World War II was the Cold War.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. That was like basically like 1950 to like 1991, more or less. Maybe 1948. Didn't just steal? Ask him first.
Oh yeah, steal it. That's what it's there.
What was the main guy's name?
Dr. Gottlieb.
Yeah, Sidney Gottlieb.
Gottlieb. And then the other one was Jay West.
Jolly West.
Jolly West.
Jolly One West. Yeah. He was another guy.
He was a big part of it.
Were they?
But before that, he was working with something White. He was working with McGill. He was working under, when he was second in charge, Alan Dulles. And then when he was first in charge, again, still Alan Dulles. And those guys kind of just like let almost anything slide. Those guys. Another Dulles ends up being part of the CIA. He has
I mean, as we
many power as well, but
we kind of uncovered when we were talking about the J. Edgar Hoover episode, the CIA was pretty much into some shady shit for almost their whole.
Wait,
what do you mean was?
Wasn't
No, still are.
I mean,
yeah.
still is. I mean, I'm saying
Wasn't Hoover
they
fucking
were like they were.
FBI?
I'm saying they were doing it since the inception of the CIA. That's
Yes.
what I'm saying.
Hoover was FBI.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but their job was always to do shady shit.
Well,
The government is always doing something shady.
That's like the function of government.
Go ahead.
I just
What are you trying to figure out?
I'm just trying to remember who's who.
J. Edgar Hoover was FBI.
Yeah.
What's who are you trying to figure out who?
What was the one we saw that with there was the Good Shepherd? Was the CIA movie?
Are you talking about The Men Who Stare at Goats? Which was
No.
loosely based off of theoretical experimentations from super soldiers and thought things.
We did
From
see
the
that
CIA?
one too. We did see that one too. That one I did see, but I remember seeing The Good Shepherd, which was about the foundation of the CIA. I think it was
The Men Who Stare at Goats was actually pretty good.
that was pretty
Jeff Bridges.
Oh yeah, it was him and Clooney, I think, too.
George Clooney was in it.
And then who was the guy who was opposite of Clooney, the reporter? Because fuck, whatever.
Then there was also
Damon? Maybe it's
American
Matt Damon.
Ultra.
Oh, that's the one with
Eisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
That's
With
where he
Kristen
plays
Stewart,
this-
Jesse Eisenberg.
He plays the stoner
Sleeper
kid.
agent.
Yeah, it was like a sleeper agent, right?
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen that one yet. Is it good?
It's all right. But basically, the government wanted to try and create like sleeper agents, super soldiers, things like that could just be activated at a whim. They did go very Manchurian Candidate, and they were very.
Wait, was I know they remade the Manchurian because there was the original one with the. Oh, who the fuck was in the original one? Marlon Brando or some shit like that?
That sounds right,
But
but
then I think they did a remake with Oh fuck. Oh my god. Jamie Foxx. He was also in Man on Fire.
I don't know.
Oh god, who starred in Man on Fire? Fuck, what was his name?
Billy Joel.
No.
Oh, Man on Fire, isn't that
You're
Denzel
right.
Washington?
Right, yeah, Denzel Washington. Right. Did they remake Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington?
I mean, it's been remade a couple times. So maybe. I don't know. But
And there's Jason Bourne.
Jesus Christ, it's Jason Korn.
Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne.
Do we want to give a quick little overview of like what the Manchurian Candidate is? It's
What, movie-wise?
movie book wise.
Sure, yeah.
Just for, the people who might not have seen it.
I mean, it's like it's kind of more of that like a secret like
Sleeper agent type shit.
yeah, but isn't that like where the trope of like the key phrase comes from? Like
Yes.
if I say a key
Where they get activated and they become
Yeah, because it's like,
That's what I mean, sleeper agents.
oh my god, that Italian family over there is actually really quiet. Something like that. Is it from American? Is that American Dad?
Family Guy, American Dad, one of those. It sounds like something McFarlane would do. But they're Chinese sleeper agents, specifically, and they get activated and start, causing all sorts of ruckus and whatnot.
They have to like assassinate a senator or something like that, I think.
Specifically, I think so. Yeah.
That reminds me of Naked Gun, Naked Gun 33 and third.
They probably riffed it.
Yeah, because of the mind control watch. Right. You put the little watch on when it starts beeping, it makes the guy
Try and kill the
Who was it?
That's like Zoolander.
Oh, fuck. But why male models?
Are you serious? I just told you.
But why male models? What is this? A learning center for ants? It needs to be like 3 times as big. Ugh.
But he's right.
Hello, when he's trying to do the mining, he's like, throwing a little bit of coal in the thing.
Yeah. It's all right. Everybody has freak gasoline fight accidents.
What the male models blow themselves up.
Yeah.
Right.
Just wake me up before you go.
Orange Julius's.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
It's okay.
No, you're not. You're not.
Oh, he's totally zonked out. He may as well not even, like...
You guys are talking, I'm listening.
He's MKUltra by the football game.
He's mind-controlled.
I'm mind-controlled, man.
It is where the MKUltra is. It's in the football game.
It's in the foosball, bros.
Foosball. That
Foosball?
foosball is the devil.
That's the devil, mama. Yeah.
So when people say, like, mind control,
They don't mean like mind control mostly. It's more just like the hypnotic suggestion bullshit usually.
well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, all right. Because if you're...
We've gotten into a little bit of an argument on this one, you and I.
So, like, all right. Would you consider coercion part of mind control? Because it is considered it, but our esteemed colleague Jackson doesn't believe it is because there's still a range of free will.
Yes.
But my thing is, there's ranges of mind control that doesn't necessarily mean you're completely drawn from your ability to, have free will. Because you could be mind controlled by a lot of things, advertisements, by music, by, but you're not like a zombie, but.
No, it's... There
I
was
never
this-
said you had to be a zombie, of note.
No, you didn't say you had to be a zombie, but I'm saying like,
Just to put that out there.
I mean, I didn't say Jackson said that.
Well, there was this guy, Leonard Dube, in the mid to late 30s. He wrote a couple books about, like, propaganda, and it was, like, anti-propaganda. Like, this is what you're being exposed to. There's this newfangled radio thing. They can manipulate what you think about certain things.
And they were.
Whatever, and that was what was happening. So I think it's like the whole goal of mind control is they make you think something or feel something while at the same time you think you came to this conclusion on your own.
Yeah.
Like you think
That's
it's
why
your
I'm-
idea.
That's why I'm saying that
Some of
coercion,
it, though.
extortion, blackmail
Well,
doesn't work that way.
Extortion is usually when you're trying to get money out of something. Usually money financial.
No, that's blackmail. Specifically, money is blackmail.
Yeah, but
extortion is just anything else.
really.
Yes.
That's
it was
not
the
the
opposite.
same
For a
thing
legal
because, like,
definition, that is how it works.
if I have the
Interesting. I didn't know that.
media distribution capabilities to convince you that you want to give me money and you think that it's your idea, like that you want, like, oh, it's in your interest to give me money and you do it,
That would be
Yeah,
like a
so
mind
like more
control,
like
thought control,
manipulation,
subliminal,
like mind control,
subliminal
you're-
message.
You're
Yeah.
convincing people
Sounds
that
like
they
a
But would it
came
be, would it be
to
manipulation?
conclusion.
Oh, one person talking at a time. Finish your statement.
What? No, you're convincing people that they came up with an idea on their own when really it's the idea that you just want them to have, and what methods can we use this and to what degree.
Yeah.
So would that be more manipulation then?
What do you mean? Would what be more manipulation?
What he's explaining.
Yes, that is manipulation.
So I
mean,
but you're manipulating somebody to control what they're gonna do or what.
I mean,
how they're
everybody
gonna act.
manipulates everybody somehow and some
But that's
way.
what I'm saying.
No, but
So
you,
so many things we're mind controlled pretty much at almost every turn that we make. You know, you wake up in the morning, you go to work. I mean, and you go about your daily. It's almost a form of mind control because you know that you have to do these things to get the things that you want in return. It's a form of controlling your mind.
Sure, but you also still
Kinda.
have the choice to not do it. You just have to face the repercussions. Most people outweigh the repercussions, the cost-benefit analysis. That's not mind control. That is, if I want X, I must do Y. Why do I
sure.
want
I
X?
but-
That would be the thought control, mind control.
So-
like, why do I want
pay
place?
for water.
water?
Why
So
do I
then-
want?
You can
So- 'cause-
convince people that they want certain things,
That's-
and then you convince people that a certain course of action will get them the thing you convince them that they want.
So conditioning.
And now you
'cause-
have people, or you call it grooming, I guess.
Because
watch that word.
conditioning is seen as a form of mind control. You're manipulating somebody's thoughts. You're conditioning their mind, so you're controlling it to associate one with the other. It's essentially mind control. So you don't have to you don't have to use it for negative. You don't have to use it, but if you are using any tactic to elicit a response from somebody that they might not necessarily want it otherwise, wouldn't that be considered a form of mind control on the spectrum of mind control?
I would say yeah, because you're convincing people to want things they wouldn't have wanted otherwise, to be afraid of things and to think things that they wouldn't think otherwise, and then you offer them a solution to the problem that you're giving them. This all goes into the same thing, I feel like, because it wasn't just oh hey, LSD didn't work to brainwash everybody, we just gave up.
They did torture.
They
They
were-
did experiment.
They did all kinds of methods of trying to appeal to
Meth,
how
cocaine,
human-
marijuana,
here's the
crack,
thing.
everything.
They had to do something, because if they gave people acid, they're most likely just going to sit there and trip out. Some of them might freak out and have a bad experience on it or something, and have a little bit more adverse reaction. But for the most part, they're just going to sit there and trip the fuck out. But that's not the point. The point wasn't to buy. I was reading something and they said that the government bought up or attempted to buy up the entire world supply of acid so that they can, conduct these experiments. And they spent.
They were pretty well close.
Yeah, I'm sure they were pretty well close.
Because at the time, only one person was able to manufacture it, and then it started getting distributed. This is during Project Artichoke,
Yeah.
when they were doing this and when they bought up pretty much everything. I believe it was Sowards was the only manufacturer of LSD. The initial man, the bicycle day.
It was like Switzerland or Sweden or something like that. The guy that.
He was of that region, but he ended up being, he ended up coming to America and whatnot and basing himself out of California. That's the guy that we did Bicycle Day for.
Well, not
that-
Timothy Leary. Dr.
Bicycle.
Leary.
Yeah, I never said Timothy Leary.
No, I
Yeah,
know
the
you didn't
guy-
say that.
Albert
but-
Hoffman.
Leary was the guy who just
No, Hoffman, I think, was the guy that gave Sidney Geigest. I don't remember his name. Sidney, the main guy running MKUltra. Sidney
Gottlieb.
Yeah, I believe Adam Hoffman was the guy that gave Gottlieb LSD for the first time and got him into this whole spiel of that, being like.
I think that's.
But it was Hoffman's connection who actually gave Hoffman stuff. I think it was Stewards.
Something like that. I'm not-
And LSD was legal to manufacture, just not known at all. And it comes from a fucking mushroom. Ecunid? Echinid?
really.
Yeah, LSD 25. It was the 25th attempt of trying to get this hallucinogenic property from the plant. I believe it was a mushroom. And I know it starts with an E. I just can't pronounce it.
Let me see. I might be able to. Or not. I'm just curious. Know how to pronounce the plant's name.
I can look it up.
I wouldn't even begin to know how to spell it, so like I just...
Oh, wouldn't you just look up LSD?
Yeah, that won't give me any flags.
LSD derived.
Oh, who gives
from-
a shit? Man, why do you act like everything's gonna be like fucking flag your ass?
I've worked for the government for too long.
Explanation of LSD is a psychedelic drug that commonly.
What plant was it derived from?
Lysergic acid is derived from the lysergic acid. Is derived from lysergic acid. That's all it says.
Yeah, it's because it's a fucking AI overview. Gotta go to like the Wikipedia. Oh wait, here it is.
Hey, wait. There we go on there though, because if you
Ergot.
look back at that,
Ergot, yeah.
Wait. Ergot, the shit that was that's the black fungus that caused people to think that they're werewolves and shit way back in the medieval times.
Yes. Yeah, that hallucinogenic.
Because they were tripping it.
no,
Huh,
most
that
of
actually explains a lot.
if you look at the experiments where they just got these people and just gave them high doses of acid, these people had no clue what was going on. Like, if you took some random person off the street in 1957 and fed them 5 doses of acid and then just locked them in a room somewhere, they're not going to know what's going on.
No.
They're not going to have any idea how to
They're just gonna go
process.
fucking crazy.
They're going to freak out because they have no way of processing what mentally is going on. So
Yeah.
that was the reaction they basically got.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
then they made it a Schedule 1 controlled substance when, like,
68?
which was right after this happened. LSD was made federally illegal basically after pretty much they abandoned it as
MKUltra
a
was
mind-
MKUltra was still around and still continuing up until 73.
Yeah, but they already had a couple years of LSD experimenting where they realized this isn't giving
A couple
us,
decades.
Yeah, like this isn't giving us the result we want. Never mind. We just need to make sure nobody gets this. And then they made it a Schedule 1 controlled narcotic is supposed to be highly addictive, very deadly, and have no medical benefit. So it's something like, heroin or crack. or
marijuana.
something.
I can tell you there's
No,
no
like-
medical benefit from it.
From what? LSD? Absolutely there is.
Eh.
There's like a whole bunch of there are people who have done open research about mental health benefits to LSD as a therapeutic, but
A little bit
Shrooms
more at the
helps.
mic.
what?
A little bit more at the mic.
No, there's been people who've done studies on LSD as a therapeutic thing, and they'll be like, "Oh no, just take benzos, just take and not even considering that." LSD and psilocybin, which are both in the same thing, are not addictive to the point of being a Schedule 1 controlled narcotic. So they're supposed to be like physically and psychologically addictive. And if you just start eating tabs of acid all day long, they just don't do anything anymore.
Well, there
eventually.
technically is an LD50.
There's an LD50 that's like pounds of mushrooms or like dozens of sheets of acid or something that you could never like. I don't even think there is an established LD50 for LSD.
There is technically one. It's very, very, very high.
It's something that you'd never do. Like you'd have to eat.
Not with that
like-
attitude.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you ate a
Have you
deck
tried?
of cards soaked in acid, maybe, or like that's like with mushrooms. Like to die from eating mushrooms, you need to eat like several pounds of mushrooms to the point where you're not going to be able to do it. And if you keep eating mushrooms or acid like that, you're just going to get a tolerance where so they don't fit the criteria of the schedule of narcotic, which was only declared after they were done trying to experiment with, like, if it did what they wanted, they'd be putting it in drinking water.
Which they did do. In fact, there was notable office memos from Gottlieb and things like that saying, hey guys, don't drink the punch bowl. We're pretty sure somebody's going to spike it at a Christmas party. That's
yeah,
always fun.
Oh yeah, they had so much. There's so
Agents
much
dosed
acid.
each other for shits and giggles in the office constantly.
MKUltra was one of the few things that was completely like off record until it wasn't, Like, the president didn't know what MKUltra was.
You know what I want from the CIA?
They just kind of went like, surprise, we own this shit.
I want the machine that turns water into Coke.
Coca-Cola?
No, he knew what he said.
I know. I know.
Sadly, the deputy director took it, though.
I mean, you could build your own if you tried harder.
That takes effort, though.
Do you know about the drugging of San Francisco, the poisoning of San Francisco?
If you're going
I know about the
the
hate and what the fuck?
Haight and Ashbury.
Hate Ashbury.
Yeah,
clinics.
the whole little San Francisco subculture in the like that 4 or 5 block area that
Yeah. Is
well,
that?
hippies mostly congregated.
That's not what I was referring to.
Okay.
So it
I
was
don't know that one.
it was before
Kind of in that area.
Artichoke even got started. It was like Bluebird Stella era, and the CIA was working with the army in San Francisco to basically like distribute bacteria, traceable bacteria.
Yes, I did hear about that.
Yeah, traceable bacteria, and see how far it would spread in the event of biological warfare. And, well, it turns out that there was a 100% success rate in San Francisco, and it spread to a few of the neighboring cities at large enough percentages.
Huh.
Yeah. They also didn't tell anybody, because what good is an experiment if you tell people? And, you know, some people may have died, and some people may have gotten sick based off of things that happened.
That's dead, dude.
But that's just something we're going to, you know, unfortunately live
over.
with. Yeah, yeah, it's just...
I mean, look at like the fucking Tuskegee experiment, if you know what that one was.
Yeah.
So.
Do you know what that one was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fody, can you tell us what the Tuskegee experiment was for those who are uninformed?
They gave a bunch of people syphilis, and then after
Specifically black
men. And then after they were done with the experiment, they didn't bother to tell these people that they had syphilis because that would compromise the
Oh no,
experiment.
that was the
already ended.
experiment. They
Like,
wanted to
and
see what happens if you don't treat it.
They let these people go for, some of them for decades with untreated syphilis, which you could have cured with a penicillin shot just for the sake of, you know, the experiment.
Just because they want to see what happens if you just let it go untreated.
Don't worry, it wasn't just Tuskegee, though.
I mean, it's like you already knew what happens, too.
I think there was also,
There's a few others.
yeah, there's a few others.
Yeah, the government from any country, let alone ours, is usually not a good guy. Yeah. Hi, thanks for watching us. We're probably never going to be shown on anywhere again.
Yeah. Famous last words. We're here. We're from the government, and we're here to help.
It's alright, they're gonna show up here any minute now. This is live, right? They can hear us.
Kinda. Yeah.
I mean, even if they couldn't, that's a smartphone, that's a smartphone, that's a smartphone. You have a phone in your pocket. They could just tap into NSA at any point. You remember NSA and the Snowden leaks and how, you know, we're all being wiretapped.
They're like, you're 4 times more likely to be struck by lightning than killed by a terrorist, but we need people watching all of us all the time in the name of finding terrorists.
Yeah.
Well, the government did spend, I forgot what the exact number was, but
That's okay.
they
They're
spent a
gonna-
bunch of money to protect Jordan.
Hey, Tuesday
Country.
morning, 1 million brown people are getting shipped the fuck out.
Oh, God.
They're not. They're gonna do it.
Not gonna do it.
They're gonna do it.
Not gonna do it. You know,
Does anyone know about the death of Frank Olson? Just to
Yes.
change the subject very briefly.
yes, that was
So
a
we don't-
crazy fucking story. So that guy. They tried to make it seem like he. And you know what was crazy? I was listening to that story, and it took the fucking the hotel manager to be like, this doesn't make any sense. Why are you guys thinking that this dude just jumped out of this fucking building, out of this window? It's like, the window's closed. He smashed through it. It was dark. How did this happen? But sorry, what were you saying?
No, I wanted you to just talk about Frank Olson a little bit, so this way we didn't talk
so
about
he was
other things.
So he was I don't know if he was a scientist or if he was
a psychologist.
Psychologist, and I don't know if he was a part of the Army or the Air Force or the Airmen or something.
Nope.
No, I know
He just worked. So he wasn't a part of it. He just worked kind of coinciding with the Army because the CIA worked largely with the Army as opposed to anybody else during MKUltra, and he wasn't with like Gottlieb or anything like that. But they were in the city and he was in a hotel and he just
decided to jump
10 stories.
Out the window. That
He may have been unconscious when he decided to jump. Don't worry about that.
and apparently when he landed, excuse me, he was like trying to like mutter something in his last words, and people think that it was like the CIA or something like he was saying something along those lines. But who knows?
So
this is the guy's last words.
Fun. Another sidetrack to this. Did you know Whitey Bulger, the famous hitman, was supposedly an MKUltra?
Yes. Yeah. And then he wound up writing a letter saying
He's the one that sorry. No, he's the one that
because there's a lot of
movie on, right?
There's a lot of crazy connections between MKUltra and pop culture and like cultural icons and stuff like that. Like one flew over the cuckoo's nest. The guy who wrote that apparently got his acid. Apparently got his acid through
Timothy Leary.
Wait,
not
Cuckoo's
really.
Nest
No,
wasn't
Ken Casey.
okay.
he apparently got
I
it
don't
through
think it was
like
the guy who did Fear and Loathing.
Jolly West's boys.
No, that was Hunter S. Thompson.
Hunter S. Thompson.
Sorry, for some reason
No.
I keep thinking Hunter S. Thompson.
I was talking to him on the Hunter S. Thompson Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Ken Casey was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So-
My brain just mixes them up sometimes a little bit there.
So
I mean, they're both very known drug authors from the era.
Well, there was that Wizard of Oz 2 movie I've seen. My buddy showed me some stuff.
Return
where
to
they were
Oz?
talking about, Return to Oz, where that whole thing was
The Skateman.
pretty much a MKUltra allegory, and they were like, because when you see like monarch butterflies and stuff, that was supposed to be a symbol of that.
Venture
I
Brothers
think
makes
it
so
would
much
say.
more sense now.
I think it's Alice. Is it Alice in Wonderland or is it Wizard of Oz? No, I think it's Alice in Wonderland. Alice eventually like goes on to become the lesbian queen of Wonderland.
Yes.
Yeah,
of course,
no joke. If
gotta
you
be
go,
inclusive. Gotta be inclusive.
No. That was way before like this whole gotta be inclusive stuff.
yeah, no, this dude like he legitimately kind of like got into Alice's life where he obsessed over his own OC kind of apparently. It's yeah, weird. Also,
That
did you know-
was.
do you know Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, like hardcore believed in the supernatural and like
Carol Lewis was Alice.
yeah, Carol Lewis I think was Alice. That was his name.
Chat.
Chat, do you know the name of the guy who wrote Alice in Wonderland?
Spamming Alice in Wonderland in the chat.
But anyway, fuck, I just had. What was I saying?
I don't know. Alice in Wonderland.
Ah, it was another thing about something about authors.
Cinderella getting lesbians. Scissor.
Nope.
No,
Wizard of Oz. Scissor.
Nope.
there he is. There's the Garrett we all know and love.
I don't know about that. He's still very much attuned to that.
I don't think the Wizard of Oz could have sex. He was just a floating head.
No, he was
That's
the
why
man
he was
behind the
so
curtain,
mad. Oh, that's true.
which you ignore.
Ignore. Anyway.
Yeah, but then his avatar he was presenting to the public was somebody who didn't have a wiener.
You know what?
At
I'm just
Mike.
gonna let that go.
This is the mic. This is where you talk, Fody.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, I already said it. I feel like it was already said. So, but
There you go, buddy. Let me help you out a little bit.
what? Why? I mean, the Wizard of Oz's giant persona he was presenting was just a floating head with no penis. So,
You leave him and his persona alone.
Wait a minute. Anyway, so So back to Whitey. Yeah, so Whitey Bulger, the fucking mafia hitman, apparently, may or may not have been an MKUltra.
Experimentee.
Yeah, like whatchamacallit. And now he was black. Was he Black Mask? Or is that a
Black Mask is Batman villain.
no Black Mask, the movie, the one with Johnny Depp?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was Whitey Bulger. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
believe so.
Okay.
It was Whitey Bulger, yeah. Who we got that you're talking about?
All right. It's been a while since I've seen that movie, so it's and I think like the guy didn't like the way he was portrayed or whatever it was. I don't remember. It's been a while.
No, he was not happy with it.
I would.
But like, what are you gonna do? Everybody has their own artistic liberties, allegedly.
True. And then should we bring him up?
You can bring up whatever you want.
was
Apparently.
I was gonna say because
Concurrently.
Uncle Ted was apparently MKUltra also. If you know who I'm referencing.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
So, all right, that actually is a perfect segue to my next
Uncle Ted.
what I was going to say. So I was listening to something and they were saying that Charles Manson had a connection, not that because it was different time frame, but there was a connection between him and Jolly West and him going to the office and spending a lot of time with the girls there and stuff.
Well, allegedly,
And-
Charles Manson
and
was
in
friends
theory-
with the freaking Beach Boys.
One at a time. One
yeah,
at a time.
he was. And he was friends with a lot of famous people because he was apparently like a pretty good like talented musician and stuff, but he was just crazy, obviously. But apparently, so like
One at a time. Go ahead.
like in theory, what Charles Manson was able to do, that whole commune and like, the cult type thing, he essentially was conducting his own MKUltra experiments because he was dosing these people with acid and then they went and fucking on a murderous rampage. So like,
and I lost it.
they talk about taking like, because they talked about a lot of like bringing these experiments to like, to the public or to the wild or whatever, or however they referred to it that it was. But Charles Manson is like, and I guess Ted Kaczynski, if that's accurate too.
Oh, it is apparently. Yeah, Ted Kaczynski was supposedly one of the Unabomber. One of the MKUltra. He got dosed up a bunch and supposedly, like, mildly tortured, and it was apparently it was like through MKUltra, but it was like through his like college or some shit like that. Like this happened.
Yes, so a lot of MKUltra experiments were done at colleges and reputable hospitals. Almost any large institute that had access to people of need. That ended up becoming a den.
Yeah, apparently it was like supposedly for like a psychology experiment or something like that through his college, and then they ended up like low grade like electroshock torturing him and giving him LSD or something like that, and then some other fucking nonsense too apparently.
Well, you read Kaczynski's like writings and stuff. Most of what he's talking about is like anybody who's like done psychedelics would say like, oh yeah, it teaches you things, but it makes you not really get along with society in general. And that was kind of Kaczynski's thing, was he was just basically saying like society is sick and we need to go back to living in the woods and stuff.
Return to Monkey?
That was Kaczynski's whole thing, and his whole like reason for bombing stuff was he's like, nobody's gonna read this if I don't.
Have you seen the Kaczynski meme going around where it's like, I hate nature, love skipping a toilet, and it's just all the leaves are his face just slowly imposing over it.
I found out the name of the LSD distributor at the time.
Oh.
Sandoz.
Sandoz.
Yeah.
Sandoz, my man.
Sandoz.
My man Sandoz.
Sandoz.
But yeah, no, it's like, I hate nature, love skibbity toilet. Just all the leaves are all the leaves. Ted Kaczynski's face just superimposing over it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You guys know about Operation Midnight Climax?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what?
Operation Midnight Climax.
That was
Because
the brothel one, right?
yes. So, in case you didn't know, MK is like technical documents for the CIA terms, and it's usually supposed to be something kind of random, right? Like artichoke, bluebird, Stella.
Ultra.
Yeah. If you looked at a giant red folder that said MKUltra, you wouldn't think to like check that out and be like, ooh. Artichoke, you might be like, eh.
Operation Paperclip.
Yep.
Operation.
Desk
Dumbo
Drawers, I think.
Yep.
So that was where they would lure all the Johns in, right? And then they would, like, all the prostitutes would kind of disappear and dose them up with
one of the many safe houses with a lot of fucking women.
What did they dose it with? Some sort of like poisonous, like almost like a gas, right, or something?
Well, it depends, because some of these people, they were given heavy doses of acid for months straight. Like, there were reported cases where people for like 80, 90 days were given like heavy injected doses of acid for like days and days and days, and then they just watch what the fuck happened to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
So-
that sounds like bonkers as shit, though.
So they
Again, it wasn't just LSD though. Like they gave him other drugs to experiment with too. They
Or,
gave
like,
him
other-
torture. They gave them torture.
I mean, if you remember the days of like psychedelic research chemicals, there's a lot of research chemicals out there that make you trip or like cause breaks in consciousness or altered states of consciousness and stuff.
I've-
Like, you can't really look up how many substances will cause something like that, so you don't even know
At least
what they
two.
were given to these people.
I've never disassociated while doing any of this shit.
At least
so
two.
I cannot explain any of this shit.
Well, it was like when, like, you remember 2CB, 2CI?
Nope.
These are like research chemicals that were around 10, 15 years ago. You could buy them online. And it was like a little bit of powder, you'd mix it in a drink, and you'd have an intense psychedelic experience for like several hours. And it was like,
Wait,
It
have
was-
you?
I remember people that used to get this stuff. There was 2CB was one, 2CI was one.
Hey.
And you could get all kinds of different stuff. It was like, unless this chemical is specifically illegal, like there's unknown numbers of kinds of chemicals that'll make you, or like analogs of chemicals.
I not any of that shit I've ever tried. I've done like higher doses and still like been within my consciousness and shit. Like the best I've gotten is like enough mushrooms I'll like close my eyes and it'll be kind of much, but like I've never like completely disassociated like some people seem to have with this type of shit.
Yeah, but if you're experienced with, like, if you've taken acid, if you've taken mushrooms before, and you know what to expect, and you know the dosage you're taking, then you're fine. But if you just get some random,
I hadn't. I
normie-
just tried shit.
That's the thing. But if you just get some random normal person off the street who's never had any experience with this and lock them in a motel room and feed them a bunch of acid.
Also, I think the part of it too that doesn't help is you're not saying like, all right, we're gonna give you this substance. You're gonna see some shit. So brace yourself.
No, they didn't.
It was
give
just
them
like
any sort
drink this cup. Oh, by the way, that's
Have
not
fun
even
for the next 8 to 15 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
and these
you
people
know,
had
like,
no context for what they were actually consuming.
You know, so like
I mean,
me and
but-
you, we get some fucking acid or we get some mushrooms or whatever we do. We're like, yeah, we're gonna have fun tonight because we know what we're getting into. We understand this is what's gonna happen. But like you're
Yeah.
saying,
I'm trying to get
an,
that break from
an
reality. though.
unwitting, unsuspecting fucking rando
Joe
off the
Schmo.
street.
Yeah,
That's like,
if you-
I'm here for a migraine. Now I'm tripping out. It's almost like the fucking side effects that you see on the fucking. You have plaque psoriasis. Take this, but you might shit your pants. You might fucking have a heart palpitation. You might have
Anal leakage.
It's like. I'm itchy. I don't need to have fucking,
No, like,
I don't
if
need to
you're-
have fucking.
So I could tell you straight up, the stuff that you take for psoriasis, it's either over the counter, which is coal tar, which is basically just cancer that you rub on yourself, topical steroids, which are topical steroids, or more or less a type of immunosuppressant, because this is an autoimmune thing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and
yeah, Which is, by the way, how I know that people who complain about vaccines giving you immune problems is bullshit. Because if my immune system was fucked up, like bad, I wouldn't know because this would go away. This is an overactive immune system, not an underactive one. So anything that would destroy, like take it away, I would know that my immune system's going away because this shit would stop. Because this is to get rid of it is an immunosuppressant.
I mean, yeah, I just picked plaque psoriasis not because
Just saying
because
for
it
the
was just
people at home.
literally, I think I saw a commercial for it like a couple.
I know,
of,
just saying for the people at home.
But but you know what I'm saying? Like, you go in for one thing, and next thing you know, you have fucking 40 other ailments.
Yo, if you
that are
take
10 times worse.
If you take somebody who's all into shamanism, who knows what it means to take 3 tabs of acid, and they know what that means, and they do it, you know, you can actually learn things from that, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you take a random person in 1961 who's never heard of LSD,
I mean, it was
and
only
you
invented in '38, so like.
you get like a
I mean, it was kind
Guy
of also
out
before
on-
that since it's ergot.
These are
But,
people
like-
who are lords somewhere who have no idea what they're doing. They go, "Oh, hey, baby, take a shot," and you just took 3 hits of acid, and you have no idea what that is or what it's going to constitute, and then that comes on you like
Oh, hell.
you don't understand what's going on. You don't have the presence.
It's
of
a
mind.
fucking
So that's-
religious event.
You've got to assume that these people are going to have a bad reaction to that because they don't know or understand what's happening to them.
I mean, the worst I had was a really, really bad anxiety attack about something. And it kind of stuck with me for a little while, where something where, like, I get really bad anxiety spikes from that certain thing. So, I mean, it's basically gone now. Like, it's pretty much gone now for the most part, but, like, yeah, it was like a year and a half for a while where I was like, if I saw that certain thing, I would have a really bad, like, anxiety attack. But, like, it wasn't like a life-stopping thing. I knew what it was. I understood the reason why it was happening. It's just something that caused it to happen while I was on LSD. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just go fuck myself with this now.
Yeah, but like I don't have
I mean,
links,
over
but
it now, but like...
You can find videos of people who are in these studies, and you can tell these are people who, like, if you got told you were participating in a sleep study, and they started giving you 3-4 doses of acid every day whenever they felt like it, I mean, that's not going to be a
Jesus Christ,
very
fumbles.
helpful sleep study. That's more like you're just going to bug out. And you have no frame of reference to what's happening, why your mind's not working correctly.
Yeah.
He says...
I heard part of that.
Talk about Datura seeds.
Sure.
I'm talking about Bunch of Crunch, baby.
So, for those who...
We're not talking about
Just
bunch of
just for
crunch.
you guys, if you don't know what they are, basically Datura seeds are a type of a hardcore deliriant drug that if you take it, it can make you, like, break from reality for days on end. Like, it's basically, like, worse than Benadryl.
That sounds
If
fucking
you
cool.
if you know what Benadryl, if you know how bad Benadryl is, Datura is worse than
Batman.
Benadryl. Yeah, no, Datura can be worse than Benadryl.
I've never lost contact for days from Benadryl before.
Hatman?
Yeah, I never heard that.
You've never had Hatman?
I've never had days worth of Benadryl blackout.
Hours,
I knew
maybe?
I knew a guy who tried it once. That skinny guy from
What?
the mall.
Blacking out for days on Benadryl? Somebody actually tried that?
Yeah.
I watched him take the whole box of it. It's like 40 pills of it.
What?
Yep.
We never said that they were smart.
No, this guy was a druggie.
Yeah.
You can probably die from that, no?
Yes.
My favorite stunt fizz
You
was
can
when
OD on anything, technically.
my favorite stunt fizz was when
What's
he
up?
was when he
Yes, you
electric.
can.
Wasn't he put electric tape to
Can't
the game on
overdose
his shirt?
weed.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
What, weed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hypothetically, you can, but it's again the same thing with like weed and shrooms. It's an almost impossible dose to do.
No, you can theoretically consume enough concentrated THC to die, but
It's such a high amount that it's like almost ridiculous to try.
Technically, everything has an LD50.
Yes, technically everything has an LD50, just like fucking dihydrogen oxide.
no, water has an LD50.
That's
but
what I
That's
said.
what he said.
Dihydrogen oxide.
Some of it's not established. Like even psilocybin is based off of rats, and you'd have to eat like a couple of pounds of mushrooms.
I really thought you were going to say a couple pounds of rats.
Or
I
rats.
was
For
kind of
some
hoping he would
reason,
say it
like-
too. I kind of thought he was
only
going to
if
say
the
it
rats
first.
ate the mushrooms already.
No, eating mushrooms is healthier than eating rats that ate mushrooms.
I mean, I heard
That's-
sewer rat tastes like pumpkin pie.
Only if they ate mushrooms.
Jackson
need-
gets that reference.
We need to get you some mushroom rats.
Psychedelic sewer rat.
They had
Pumpkin
cocaine
pie.
rats. You guys hear about the cocaine rats?
I heard about pizza rat.
I remember Pizza Rat.
Yeah,
That rat's probably very dead by now. It's been too long.
probably.
I think rats only live like 3-4 years at most.
Do you guys know Dr. Cameron? David Cameron?
Is he the guy from House?
No. He was the guy from the McGill experiments. From McGill University, the Montreal experiments.
Wait, they got permission to do shit in Montreal, Canada, of all
Yes.
places?
Montreal.
How the fuck did they pull that one off?
My man, as it turns out, if you go, hey, we're looking to make sleeper agents and protect the world and shit, people sometimes want to help you out.
I mean, Canada is known for...
What are Geneva Convention?
They basically helped make them.
What are
mean-
Geneva Convention?
I
Is it-
prefer the Geneva Suggestions.
Is it hard to do stuff in Canada? Like, do they enforce laws strictly there?
I don't think they enforce laws
if you're
at all
Native
there.
American,
Yeah, I feel like
no.
it's pretty much just suggestions there.
Let's
right?
put it this way: if you are
Oh,
not,
sorry about that, eh?
if you're not like French or British born, like blood, you're basically free game in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, the native population in Canada was treated just as bad, if not worse. There's a reason they say sorry a lot.
Oh, yeah, eh?
Look up the Catholic conversion schools
Oh, golly.
or the Christian conversion schools and stuff.
Yeah. It's okay. It's not okay.
No, that was not okay.
No. But Cameron was like one of the worst with torture, electrotherapy, anti-gay shit, sleep deprivation, drugs, LSD on top of other drugs, doing things with diseased patients and being like, hey, let's just figure out what's going to happen.
Yeah, as it turns out, like when they feel like it, human rights are just a suggestion.
Yeah. He was one of the guys that like made, if you've ever heard of the like Guantanamo Bay with like playing Barney on loop and shit like that.
Oh yeah,
He was one of the guys
remember
that- He was one of the guys that like found out that if you just loop a message for hours on thousands of times.
It's like psychological torture.
Yeah.
Omelette du fromage.
Yeah. It's not like psychological torture. It is psychological torture.
Omelette du fromage.
I'm not gonna lie though. Every time I've ever been electrocuted, it makes me feel less gay. So that might be scientific.
I mean, if you start off at 130%
Okay.
gay,
You can get down to about 111 by electrocuting yourself, depending on where you electrocute yourself.
I'll take your word for that one. I mean, there's not a mortal alive that can comprehend my sexual preference.
yes. We
Yeah,
get it.
no, but I mean, there's nothing on Earth that's as heterosexual as electricity.
Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen.
Baby, I was born to run.
Well, yeah, I mean, if like Bruce Springsteen,
Whoa!
if Bruce Springsteen was electrocuted by lightning while singing that song, there wouldn't be anything gay about it. So then the point still stands.
If you want to look up some notable experimenters, some notable people that are confirmed to have done experiments on people.
But you know what's crazy? Sorry to cut you off. Only because you said known to, like, confirmed to have done. So we spoke about the guy Jay West. That guy went to his grave saying that he had nothing to do with MKUltra, even though he had plenty of shit to do with MKUltra. It's like he literally was like saying, if you even mention my name with MKUltra, I'll sue you type shit.
No,
And
if
then
you,
they found evidence that he was corresponding with Dr. Gottlieb and like going over
Never a doctor.
like dosage and shit like that.
Sidney Gottlieb was never a doctor.
What was he?
Just a dude in the CIA.
Really?
Yes, he was the head of the MKUltra experiments.
Huh.
But like, if you conduct an experiment, like even in terms of basic, like don't even call it
Almost
mind
positive
control.
on that.
Like, you don't even need to call it mind control. Just call it basic manipulating groups of people behaviorally or whatever. If you do a study, you're not obligated to reveal the results of your study to anybody. Like, if you paid for it and you did an experiment and it's over or whatever, you can just keep that to yourself, or you can sell it to whoever you wanted to. Like,
Something about secret bases in
Oh,
Canada.
he was a chemist.
Secret tunnel.
Yo, you ever hear of the dumps? The deep underground military bases?
oh yeah, dumbs.
Yeah, dumbs. The what's the one where like they fought aliens for it? It's the something basin one. That apparently they dug down, started making the base, and they encountered some fucking grazer shit in there that were already like pre-established. Like, hey, this is our alien base, and like, nah, we're gonna take it back. So they fucking murked the aliens, and now they're like using the base to like fucking hybrid experimentations. I can't think of the name of the place though for the life. It's out in like not like the Skinwalker Ranch, Utah, but like
In that area.
yeah, it's one of those fucking places. Oh man, what the fuck was?
So confirmed experimentees. We have experimentors. We have Harold Alexander Abramson, Donald Ewan Cameron, Sidney Gottlieb, Harris Isbell, Martin Theodore Orn, Louis Jalion West,
Just naming names here.
George
name
Hunter.
dropping like crazy.
George Hunter White, who was known for, he has been on numerous records as
Is it
watching
Nebraska?
people fuck while on LSD, and he was on the toilet watching them fuck.
Was that
That's
like
As you should be.
was that like a kink of his? or
I mean,
something?
I've gotten caught on the toilet while on acid before. Not gonna lie.
No, but did you ever get caught watching other people fuck while on acid?
Porn box.
Alleged experimentors Jim Jones and Charles Saragossa.
What did I name that cricket?
Confirmed subjects Allen Ginsberg, Ken Casey, Harold Blauer,
Wait, did I ever tell you that one?
Robert Hunter. Alleged was James Whitey Bulger, Ted Kaczynski, Sirhan.
Oh right, wait. Sirhan was the one who he's the guy who shot JFK, right?
No.
Which one was he?
Sirhan's attorney, Lawrence Teeter, believed that Sirhan was operating when he assassinated RFK.
Okay, I was close.
Yeah.
He was one of the Kennedys, because it was like what's his name shot Kennedy allegedly along with the grassy knoll guy, and then there was the Jack Ruby. Jack Ruby shot the guy who shot JFK. Right. Okay, now I'm remembering. Sirhan
Oswald?
was- Lee Harvey Oswald. Yeah. Was Lee Harvey Oswald MKUltra?
No, not of note in this.
He was just a CIA asset in general.
Well, I know he was a former
Not
Marine.
of note in this.
He was former Marines, though. This we know. That's where he got his.
Honestly, he was probably FBI guy, not MK Ultra guy.
Was
Use
he?
the bathroom, boys and girls.
He's
Give us a sec.
Pause to the camera, I guess.
Sorry, friends.
No, you're good. If you gotta pee, you gotta pee. Anyway.
We can hang out with Superfan George.
Nah, Oswald was
George,
connected.
just give it a second. We'll wait for him to come back before we. Yeah, we can hang out with Superfan George. We got a guy over there that's live.
Easy to sway a man down on his luck. Straw man.
Oh, you got stuff over there?
Yeah, this is live.
Oh, I didn't
We got our
see that.
superfan George here.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. They can hear you more or less, I think.
For the
Just
most
be
part.
careful with that, please.
I know.
Yeah, we told you a couple
Sorry.
times.
I gotta move it It's all good. I'm not knocking the bottom.
What do you mean you got to move it? You just
Honestly,
move
we should
yourself.
just pull the table forward a few inches, but whatever. Is what it is now. Anyway. I commentate. You try.
You do. You're appreciated.
No, you're appreciated. Except for that last one we did where you weren't here.
Yeah, what was the big deal with that, with you not showing up on that one?
I don't know if he could hear you from that through there.
I don't know. Probably not. He definitely can't hear me from this to that. But he might be able to pick up my voice from here to there. I tend to speak a little loud sometimes.
We've noticed.
Hey, you know what they say? He who speak loudeth, speak mosteth.
That's a phrase or something or another. I will.
He who speak loudeth, am correcteth.
Kinda.
Oh, well, he's back, kind of.
Whatever. It's foosball. Wait, do we know who's playing in the Super Bowl yet?
Nope,
Yeah.
this is the playoffs.
Oh.
So this is helping to determine it.
Who do you want? Who's most likely? I don't
He is the Redskins fan, so he wants them.
I want
No Latin.
the team in white to win, and they're winning. And they're winning. They're winning.
I like how you have the stats pulled up there when it's also over there.
You know, I'm nerding out and shit. Got to be completely nerded out, otherwise we're
We've
not
noticed
into
with
it.
your shirt too.
Yeah, I got my shirt on. I got my weed out. I got my bong out.
No, you don't.
We were talking about
He's lying
Lee,
about the bong.
We were talking about Lee Harvey Oswald, and you wanted to say something about Lee Harvey Oswald.
Harvey Oswald. Harvey
Oh,
Oswald.
like no, he was connected in terms of CIA stuff too. But you, like, honestly, when you get into Kennedy stuff, it's like there's so much nonsense theories that surround.
Well,
that
everybody knows
contradict
was
each
skinny
other.
George Bush.
Why are you trying to talk over the boy?
Sorry.
It's hard enough to hear him as is.
No, I'm saying just the whole thing with there's too much crap about Kennedy assassination that all contradicts each other for you to really kind of even wonder if the guy really got shot at all.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I
Are you
watched the back
saying
of his head explode.
it's a conspiracy? The whole thing is a conspiracy.
Well, I'm saying it's something that's
We're all
got
one
so
big
many different,
conspiracy.
like there is so many
Who's on
different conflicting theories
Superfan
about
George?
the
Yeah.
whole Kennedy thing.
Superfan Jorge?
Again, why are you talking over the boy? It's hard enough to hear.
Sorry. Sorry, Fody, forgive me.
I'm not. No, I already said it. That's all I was saying.
So hard to hear sometimes.
No,
They've got like the whole Kennedy thing is beyond even bothering to look into because they have so much controlled opposition related to it.
I mean, are the Kennedys even? Well, I mean, they are kind of now a little bit with, but like, are they like relevant now to begin with anymore? Besides the one guy,
A little.
Robert.
I mean, I'm sure they're like, you know, money, but like,
No, but I mean, how many?
how many of them are like actually
Politicians?
like in office anymore?
Yeah,
they
I mean,
kinda-
the only way
they
to
kinda
have
stop with that for reasons.
the only way to have influence and power is clearly by being a politician.
I mean, you know,
Clearly.
Not at all.
Elon Musk didn't meme his way into some type of government power.
President Musk? Nah, President Musk buying Twitter didn't get him that way.
He can't be a president. He's South African.
President Musk isn't South African. He's from Texas.
Tejas! So,
Can't wait for him to get sworn in on Monday.
what would you like to recommend as like some type of notable book or movie or something like that involving MKUltra?
I mean, we mentioned the Manchurian Candidate stuff, which was like, yeah, that's like China doing it to us, kind of the inverse-ish, I think was like the plot. And then there was the Bourne series, I guess. It's kind of adjacent, because that's like a...
I see what you did there. Adjacent.
What was that one? It'll come to me. Anyway,
If you say so.
but
There's a bunch of stuff about social psychology you could look up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or,
a
like,
lot of
cancer-
social
and,
psychology type
like,
stuff from that shit.
When you think about it, like the MKUltra stuff was basically just like that on steroids, because they already know how to, like, even just like old school control a radio broadcast to manipulate people to behave in a certain way, one or the other, or whatever. So
I mean,
that was mostly like MKUltra was kind of just like, how can we like enhance this media manipulation with drugs?
How can we do it reliably, efficiently, and repeatably? That's all they were trying to figure out. It's never been known to just like, hey bud, I see you're living in a pretty bad situation. You want to make a lot of money? Do you want to make a lot of money?
I mean,
Do you want to make a lot of money?
I do want to make a lot
Okay,
of
so
money.
all I'm gonna need you to do is just
Sign your name here.
shoot this guy. Don't ask any questions.
So, one of the things that there was a there's a good interview on the Joe Rogan podcast. I don't
oh
know.
god,
I don't whatever like him or not, whatever. Sometimes he has some entertaining guests.
no,
to
it's cool.
listen
I'm
to.
joking.
But the guy that he had on wrote a book, and I don't know, I don't fucking remember, man. I'm a pothead, and I was smoking when I was listening to the. But anyway, he tells about this story about this guy who was I guess he might have been an airman man or something, but they dosed him. They made him believe that this little girl was a.
Sorry, come
What?
back to it when you're done with your story.
This little girl was was somebody in his family that harmed him when he was younger, and they were able to brainwash him into thinking this, and he wound up kidnapping and horrifically killing this girl, and then like he came to and he was like had no idea what the fuck happened, no idea what and that was one of the studies that they were doing. It was. I forgot what they called it.
So I know what you're talking about, and from the things that I heard, it wasn't that they convinced him that it was somebody who horrifically harmed him in the past. They just like made him think that he was somebody else. He was somebody else. That it was this man who looked nothing like him that ended up doing this, and he was totally drugged up and totally like out of it for months before they got another psychiatrist in to like hypnotize him and try and get some shit out of him, something, anything. And it was a like 3-year-old girl who was very much assaulted in a way that we won't talk about,
Yeah, horrifically.
and then murdered.
So, have you heard the recent one about this kind of that's been adjacent from this? A new one that's it's the smiley face killings.
No.
So supposedly, what it is like up and down like the east, like the and like the north or like the northeast. No, is it?
I think we skipped it.
I think it's Pennsylvania, maybe. Supposedly, it's like up and down this area, like I think like Pennsylvania, D.C., that type of like. And what it is like, college-age guys will be like thrown into the river to drown, and like they'll turn up and like wherever, like near where their bodies turn up, or like near where the person was thrown in, they'll like find like graffiti of a smiley face apparently near there, and they think that it might have something to do with MKUltra or something along those lines, because it's like. And supposedly it's like linked to like up to like possibly 200 victims or some shit like that. It's just like college age dudes, particularly college age white guys, they'll just all of a sudden be fucking turned up like in the river, like, you know, in their suits or like whatever, they're like, you know, just fucking, and some of them will be like shown to have been like possibly strangled beforehand or like beaten up or tied up, and like, or they'll be in like states of decay that like weren't like when they conducive to when they went missing originally. Like they'll be gone for like 2 months, but like they'll look like they've only been like dead for like a week or some shit like that. Yeah, it's a whole thing, and they're like supposedly it's MKUltra, like adjacent. Yeah, you've never heard of the smiley face killings?
That I never really looked into. It sounds familiar.
Nope.
It's been going around, not too recently, but the last couple of years as a.
Well, it's what I was saying before is nothing that came out as a result of MKUltra had any specific legislation related to the government not being allowed to do it anymore. That's like kind of like
What? The government would
agency-
never do that again?
whatever agency is dissolved, but they just kind of took all the surveillance and everything and filtered it out to farther, harder to track, less centralized organizations, and they can still do whatever. They're not allowed to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
So are they still doing it?
Probably
Maybe.
everything they were doing, they've probably been doing. They just got better at hiding it. Because, I mean, like I said, it's not like they prohibited them from doing any of the things that they did already, or even if they did do that, that they would have to abide by it. Like, it's not like Black Ops projects are really following laws in the first place, so...
I mean, they've they found black sites for like local police precincts and shit. So like, I mean, if a local cop department's willing to have a black site on hand, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think, what does the federal government actually have
Many, many things.
that's operating in other countries also, where they can
You mean
send
like
you?
East
Like-
Asia, Japan, West Germany, Philippines?
Well, I mean, we have a military base in Okinawa, which is
Yeah,
just
don't worry. We
outside of
fucked up
Japan.
Okinawa.
You want to have a weird experience? Look up Okinawan subreddits. Some of them are good. Some of them are spicy as shit for reasons. Just like if you try to look up the price of Donald Trump's Playboy on eBay. It's all over the fucking place. Weird way to bring that one back around. Yeah, you ever want
Do you want to talk about what you're referencing?
Oh yeah, okay, real quick. So next subscriber goal, whenever we get to the 500 subscribers, it's through the Looking Ass, our Pornhub channel where we review classic celebrity Playboys cover to cover. Might do a Vimeo too, because I think they're pretty lenient with nudity and that type of shit. So I don't know. We'll see how lazy we are with the setup on that one. Hey, do you want to hit for the next one too, or just keep? You know?
Just keep going.
Should I roll into the next one with 1,000 where we do the forcible...
750.
Oh, 750?
750 Sprite Boy.
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting the 750 Sprite Boy. That's
Sprite Boy?
one of our guys. The guy, the Sprite
Pat?
guy. Yeah. He's
Coke
making a
Pat?
roll. Just for decoration for the set.
Oh, he's gonna give you the.
Sprite Boy, yeah.
Oh shit.
When we get to 1,000, we're marrying some people with the... Because I am an ordained minister.
Ordained.
That I am. They know who they are.
Yeah.
1001, it's giveaway of a Lego Humvee.
Thanks to John, Superfan John. At 2,500, we have two different Superfan shout-outs.
Yep.
Superfan George is going to send us an Edo period sword, and Superfan Charles, that's his name, is going to get a Assassin's Creed tattoo on his nipple. Not around his nipple, on his nipple.
That's a big ass fucking nipple.
There's a big nip, and you will see it live.
Yeah, you sure will.
We'll be right up close on that nipple as it's getting tattooed.
Oh, we sure will. 10,000, you're doing the mini necklace hunter thingy. Show the live stream, I guess.
As usual, got the knife, giving that away like a boss. Just put that down. It's the big version. The little version, neck knife version. 10,000. Then from there, it's anything after that. I think it's just the million. We go to Joe Rogan's house when we steal his sword, because we're heist moving his shit. Garrett's joining me.
Sure, I'll join you.
Fuck yeah, we got
in
two guys.
Tejas?
Yeah, we're going all the way out to Texas. We're gonna do a heist movie. We're getting a crew. We got me. We got Garrett.
As long as we do the heist movie, and it's one of those sequences where they show you how the heist is going down as they're talking out the heist, but then actually that is the heist. Instead of like.
So you want a Mission Impossible it, is what you're saying?
we will see what we can
No,
do.
I'm
with that
saying
today.
because usually in the heist movie, they'll do like a this is how it's gonna play out type thing, and then they actually do it, and sometimes it gets fucked up, sometimes it works out, but they always actually play out the scenario, even though they've done the fucking the walkthrough. But instead of having the whole like sequence where they show what actually happens, it's kind of just like, yeah, that's how it went down. This is what happened, and then that's the end of it.
We'll see what happens when we get there. We'll see what our editors can do. By the time we get to 1 million, we'll have it a different person heading, possibly.
I doubt that.
Jackson
see what happens.
has no faith.
I mean, let's see if we can get to 500 first, because that's just, you know.
Yeah.
I want to try and get us just so we can open up for chats and stuff, because that's where we can actually start having some fun with shit.
Super chats, donations, things like that.
Because if we could do, like, the super chats with
And
the
maybe like a Patreon or something at some point.
Yeah, we'd love to get to that point, because we could do, like, the stripper stream and shit and other silly shit we have planned. You know. If you want to see the stripper stream, get us to 500.
Yeah, that's
Cody, do you want to see the stripper stream?
that's when he's
I'm
doing
in.
that. It's all going to be bankrolled by the man all the way down at that end over there.
Whatever. See what happens.
He is bankrolling it himself personally. He will not take out a credit card or anything like that in order to bankroll it.
Yep. I'm doing it all through... I know some hookers.
Pootie Tang.
Booty dang. Did you know that movie's made by Louis C.K.?
No, but that makes so much sense now.
Yeah, that movie was written and directed by Louis C.K.
Sarate, and it'll be okay.
And when I found that out, I was like, holy shit, this makes so much more sense now, yes. Known masturbator, Louis C.K.
Golly.
Get that joke?
Golly. Anything to close us off? Other than watch your drugs, kids?
Mm-hmm.
Watch your drugs. Somebody might take them away from you. Otherwise.
Keep an eye out on your drugs.
Hold your drugs closely.
Drugs are expensive. You need to keep a close eye on them.
Anybody else's mom tell them not to smoke weed because they might lace the weed with something?
Yeah.
And then I'd always try to explain to her, like, Mom, so you're telling me somebody's going to give me weed for $15, throw me an extra $20 worth of their own stuff for free, just for what purpose? That
Yeah, they're not only gonna give you free weed, but they will also lace the weed with more expensive additional drugs that you didn't even
that I didn't
think you were
that I
gonna
didn't
get.
ask
Yeah, that
for.
makes not a fucking lick of sense.
My favorite one is I had a class in high school called Health, and it was basically like this lady would just show us Lifetime movies that replaced every other day of lunch. And I remember one time she told us all that when we were going to go away to college, they were going to, like, maybe it's just because I didn't really go to college, but we were supposed to have these parties where, like, everybody would just raid their parents' medicine cabinets and take all the bottles of pills and throw them in a giant salad bowl. And everybody would just swallow fistfuls of pills out of the salad bowl. And, you know, like...
She made it sound so cool
they
and
would
inviting.
all, like, they all OD on drugs. And I'm like, I guess now I just feel in my mid-30s that I wasn't cool because I never got invited to one of these parties that totally happened.
Wait. You remember what went around for a little while with the rainbow parties?
Oh, the rainbow parties?
You know what
remember,
those were
yeah.
supposed to be?
Yeah, those were crazy.
Yeah, supposedly rainbow parties.
Alright.
Sure.
Rainbow like these.
Yeah, so supposedly the point of rainbow parties was like you get a bunch of guys and a bunch of chicks, and the girls would all put on different shades of lipstick. And the guys were supposed to go around to each girl and get head. And they were supposed to try and make a rainbow on their junk out of the girl's lipstick. Not joking. That was supposedly a thing.
That was really
And you know who started? Who kind of made it a thing?
TikTok.
Lifetime.
Fucking Oprah.
That was
What?
definitely Dr. Phil and Lifetime movies.
Oh my god,
that-
Oprah?
Oprah, like, kind of spoken into existence with it possibly being a thing. Supposedly.
Well, Oprah and Dr. Phil are the same shapeshifter. They just shapeshift back and forth. They're one and the same organism.
We wouldn't have fucking Dr. Oz, Dr. Phil. What's her name with the anti-vaccine thing?
Yeah, but none of this happened because there was
You know, Dr. Phil is a real. Sorry, he's not really like a psychologist.
Not anymore, no. He was a registered psychologist in Texas, but then he had to lose his license so he can produce in California. Yeah. He hasn't been a registered psychologist until like a decade and a half.
Yeah, but the thing was nobody. This all goes back to Oprah and Lifetime network of scary movies for women that your high school age 15-year-olds are all out having wild orgies and swallowing fistfuls of pills and like, no, they're probably not doing any of those things.
Honestly, a lot of that shit happens in fucking college.
But not even, because there was never a party where everybody threw all their pills in a giant salad bowl.
Never
and
like that, but it was
swallowed
like
fistfuls
usually
of them.
drinking and shit.
Yeah, I mean, people would drink and stuff, but
That's
it
every
wasn't
party,
like
though.
to the degree that like.
Y'all remember the swingers party that the Grinch walked into?
Shout out
Sorry,
to that.
got storked into.
Yep. The fucking bowl of keys.
Love it. It's the best.
That's such a... Oh, man. That joke was so... That's one of those adult jokes that's like, oh... Yo, that one fucking hoot chick, she wanted the Grinch so bad, too. She was, like, down bad for the Grinch. God. Yo, you know what's another one where, like, the person got weirdly down bad in it, too? Also Christmas-related? Bad Santa. You ever see Bad Santa with
Yeah, that was a good movie.
What's her name? The chick from Gilmore Girls. She was, like... She got a little
That's
too...
where we're going with that.
She got a little too into it with her scene with fucking Billy Bob Thornton. You're like, okay, she either really likes Billy Bob Thornton or she's got some sort of Santa kink. They can go back and watch the films.
Jeez.
And then they did the sequel with the fat kid coming back to him. Like, he's the same kid and he's grown up. What do they call her? It was like Mrs. Claus's sister. Good times. Stupid movie.
So we're signing off and signing out.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else left to.
Unless you want to keep bullshitting about other fun stuff we could reminisce. I don't give a fuck.
No, I think that's about it.
Don't take pills out of the salad bowl at your friend's party, kids.
Unless they're the ones you put there.
If you get
Just-
invited to a rainbow party, it's RGB.
Roy G. Biv.
Yeah, Roy G. Biv.
It's safer to just stay home and swallow your own pills and blow yourself. Just remember that, kids.
If I could do that, I would not leave my house.
Nobody would. That's why you can't do that.
Wait, did you hear the anecdote that the first chick they ever tested the rabbit vibrator on didn't leave her house for 3 days? Yeah, like one of the first people they ever gave to try one of those rabbit vibrators with the little things. They go she didn't leave her house for 3 days.
Good night, people.